Hi friends! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori and today we are working in my October daily album for 2024 on story number 4. For this story, I am going to be talking about spooky filters, and I created a little 3x4 spooky filters card that I will be using. I'm also using a lot of scrap pieces, leftover pieces from previous years that I've had in my stash to get those used up. And then for my background image, I'm using I don't know what the name of this paper would be, but it's from the new Paisley Press Spooky Season collection. I love Liz Tamanaha's handwriting. So when I saw this was released a couple of days ago, I instantly had to purchase the papers because she's got this Something Wicked This Way Comes background paper. And I thought it would be perfect to document spooky filters. My spread today is going to end up being very, very monochromatic. It's going to be mostly white and black, with the exception of this little vellum die cut piece that I have from one of the Paper Person Shop kits. It's got a little bit of purple on that one, but you're not actually going to see it because that will be a hidden pocket kind of element that I will be using for my journaling. So I have a little bit of star paper left over from one of my Close to My Heart papers. So I'm going to be using that to mat my Spooky Filters 3x4 card. I'm going to struggle with my tape here for a moment because I legitimately forgot how to open this thing and get that refilled because I did just run out, and then we will continue to move right along. So this little Spooky Filters card, like I said earlier in the video, I created this. I made it in a combination of Procreate and Adobe Illustrator, which is where I do a lot of my lettering and stuff like for my stamps that I create. So I hand lettered the Spooky Filters and then used my favorite font to add the rest of the wording on here. And I will actually have this linked down in the description box below if you also want to make a Spooky Filters spread, so you can download that for yourself. I thought it was super fun. I really like these kinds of spreads, especially because Spooky Filters or just any fun filters in general are super fun. There is a little box, like a checkbox that you can use for what social media you were using for the filter. This one that I did, because I was printing this on photo paper, I had already filled in my box, but in the download, if you go check it out, they're all blank, so you can print them however you want and then check your own box. If you do download that and use it, I would love if you'd tag me over on Instagram so I can see it. I love seeing spreads that are created with things that I make, so feel free to do that so I can go check it out and leave you a nice comment. I am pulling out some score tape because I am creating a pocket situation. Side note, my washer machine is running and it sounds like it's banging against the wall, so I hope you can't hear that, but if you can, I'm sorry. Anyways, I am creating a pocket with this kind of main element, one of these main element photos, and I'm just going to line all of the outsides except for the top with that score tape, and then put another piece down where I want the kind of tag that I'll be placing into it to stop, because I don't want it to go all the way down, but I also want it to kind of stick out. So I kind of placed it a little bit higher up there, and you'll see as I get further along how that will look. I'm also going to add a little bit of tape to the corner of my photo, because when I am layering multiple images together and I want them to lay a certain way, I like to attach them together first before I actually adhere them down to my background page. So that is what I am doing here, because I do want these ones to be a little bit off-kiltered as well. That seems to be kind of just the way that I'm wanting most things in this album to appear this year, because I have done it repeatedly several times for the last couple of spreads. I'm going to use my tiny attacher tool to just staple down that little witch hat, and then we will kind of continue on. I have this twine. I don't know where this came from, and it's like wrapped up like it came like in a kit of something. I have no idea where I got this twine from, honestly, but I found it, and I am going to use that to just add a little bit of twine to both of my tags. You can see over on the left-hand side of the screen, I have a little black tag as well. I'm also going to be adding that into my layout, but it's going to be a non-functional tag. I'm just going to be adding it to add another little tag element, since I will have the pull-out tag for my journaling. So I'm just looping the twine around that first tag, and I'm going to trim it down. And I'm also going to do a double staple and like have it look a little bit like an X on both of these tags once I get the twine added and have everything laying where exactly I want it to lay. And then I think I'm going to mess around with that black tag now. I'm going to pull it over and lay it behind both of my little photos, and I'm pretty much just gonna leave it like right there. I'll flip over the two photos and then kind of adhere it down so that it's in exactly the spot that I want it to be. I am going to end up removing all of the score tape and then adding additional adhesive as if I'm going to be ready to adhere all of this down. And then after I do that is when I decide to add the twine to it. So I made this significantly harder on myself than I needed to. So please take a moment to laugh at my pain here, because it was a little bit of a struggle with all of this open exposed adhesive while I was trying to add the twine in here. So that was fun. But once I get that added, I will flip over my photos and actually lay them down to adhere it to my final background image. And then I will start working on a little bit of the embellishments that I have pulled out. I have noticed specifically over the past year that I don't actually tend to gravitate towards using a lot of embellishments or die cut pieces or anything like that. I actually tend to quite struggle with liking the way things look when they're laid out like that and have additional die cuts. Like if I could have left this page exactly like this and been perfectly fine with it, but I had extra pieces and I did want to get some of these used up. So I'm going to take that cutoff piece, that little star cutoff piece, and I'm actually going to trim that and add it as if it's like a little piece of washi tape to the top and the bottom. And I will also pull off two of these word phrase stickers and adhere them around my photo. I'm going to take the one that says Master of Disguise and then the one that says Make Believe, and then place both of those stickers in kind of the little corners that my photos create because of their overlap. And then I will move on to the extra piece of the star paper, and I will be ripping that so it's got like a ripped edge on one side. And I will be placing that at the top and the bottom, but on opposite sides of my page. The one that's going to be on the very bottom is going to house my story number. I'm going to use my story number stickers and just stick it right over top of that, washi die cut looking thing, fake washi strip. And then the one up top is where I'm going to struggle trying to figure out what I want to do with it, because I wanted to do something else with that as well. Originally, when I had pulled out these little tags, I thought that I would just attach the tab to the top of this tag, but then I ended up putting twine in there and I completely forgot about this. So I'm going to try something, and I honestly don't think I like the way that it looks and kind of wish I didn't do it, but it's already done and I don't know if I'm going to try to pull this off or not. But I cut off the little sides of the tab and I'm going to just overlap it to the side of the tag. I'm probably confusing those words back and forth a lot. So sorry if I am, and hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. But I'm just going to wrap that around the side of the tag. You can see it when you have the tag actually tucked in to the hidden journaling spot, which I don't like. And I don't know if I like this. I might try and pull that off because I think I usually end up having to staple these down so that they stay, but we shall see. That's a problem for future me because I do still have to go in and actually do my journaling for this particular page anyways. So that's a problem for future me to figure out. So I've got my story number down. And now I'm going to pull out a bunch of elements to see what I want to place up in the top right-hand corner of my page. Spoiler alert, I choose absolutely none of these. There was something in this little bin that shouldn't have been, and that's actually what I end up going with. So I've got like a nice little montage of me literally flipping through, I feel like, almost every element that was in this little plastic bin that I have. And I don't end up choosing any of them, and I'm laying tons out, trying tons, and I'm just not liking any of them. I do like these little paper bats, but I felt like they were too small. And then I found these little like sequin bats that I had purchased from Target last year, that shouldn't have been in this little pile because I have like a little vial that they're supposed to go in, and I'm going to pull that out right now and show you the wool of bats things. These were in the Target dollar spot last year. So I'm going to pull some of these out. They're like kind of very large sequins. And I'm just going to sprinkle 3 of those onto my page. And that's exactly what I needed, what I wanted to kind of complete that. So that'll be the last thing that I actually add to this page. And I'm just going to pull out my Barely Arts like craft glue to glue all of those sequins down. So for my journaling for this page, I'm going to end up talking about how every year Luna and I always open up like the spooky filters and just take a bunch of pictures together, because she is a picture loving girly and she loves the fun filters that like they offer on Instagram and stuff. So we just take a bunch of pictures and then just save them and like cancel out of like the stories thing so that we don't actually post anything, but we just use it for the photos. And I have, I think, a total of 4 more photos that both of us took using the same filter. And I think what I'll end up doing is just adding like a 3x4 pocket page right next to this one so that I can just pop those additional photos in, because they all came out super cute and they're so fun. It's just that this particular photo that I'm documenting right now ended up being my favorite. So I wanted that one to be my primary photo. But thinking back on it and looking back on the photos again, I think I'm going to go ahead and just add those as well and just add them in as a pocket page. But that's it. This spread or this page is done. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.